Welcome back to Newsday. Let's go live to the former Speaker of the House of Reps, Andrew Wallace. Andrew, before we start talking about this shares question for Peter Dutton 16 years ago around the global financial crisis, I just want to play you a little of the exchange in Senate estimates a short time ago.
There's genuine questions to answer.
Why don't you say it outside the room?
This is the modern Labor Party. All you've got is mud. You're just attacking the leader.
Coward's castle.
Yeah.
You know, we have questions.
You're throwing mud at Peter Dutton. That's all you've got.
Grubby. So grubby, Minister. You're better than that, apparently.
Well, it was just a coincidence, was it, that there was a lot of shares purchased the day before a bank bailout?
Say it outside this room.
Go
What a
on.
coincidence.
Go on.
A happy coincidence.
You're using parliamentary privilege. You're using
Coward's
castle to defame the leader of the opposition.
I think someone who wants to be Prime Minister
Very grubby.
And this is happening on the Prime Minister's watch.
Every time you mention his name, our polls go up, so keep going.
Andrew Wallace, everyone's a bit fired up, it seems, about this one. What's your reaction to it? As Murray Watt is saying that the opposition leader should explain how that all transpired back in the day.
Well, my immediate reaction, Kieran, is I'm glad I'm in the House of Reps and I don't have to sit through Senate estimates. But putting that aside for the moment, look, Peter Dutton has been a champion of our community, long-term police officer. I've known Peter Dutton for a very, very long time, and he's a man of the utmost integrity, and he's complied with all the requirements that are required of him and any other politician in relation to their register of interests, etc. But beyond that, I mean, Peter Dutton is a man of very high integrity, and to see the sort of grubby tactics that are now coming out by the Labor Party, one thing you can be absolutely sure of the Labor Party is that when their back is against the ropes, they will dig up any sort of muck, any sort of rubbish that they possibly can to play the man and not the ball. It doesn't come as any surprise to me whatsoever.
No, and I think it's fair to say it's going to be a pretty bruising campaign. And then you put to this one, this story to one side, probably around for 24 hours, but then you got the ads and all that sort of stuff. This is going to be a bruising election campaign when we finally get there.
It's like a Greek wedding, Kieran. It just seems to go on forever, and we haven't even started the start of gun hasn't even fired yet. So bring it on, Albo. Bring it on. I've been saying that for months. But the longer he waits, the more people are just so incensed by this fella. They know that their lives have been going backwards at a rate of knots. Our quality, our standard of living has dropped by 11% in this country. People can't afford to go to the doctor. They can't afford to put fuel in the car. They can't afford their electricity, their gas. The list goes on. People are hurting, and they now understand that they're hurting because of this government and its crazy policies, not the least of which its energy policies that are driving the cost of living through the roof, and people are angry.
Does it, just on another matter, we saw the US voting against their traditional allies, including us, Europe as well, voting with Russia, Belarus, against that motion at the UN criticising Russia over the invasion of Ukraine. Are you, just as an observer of these things, and I know someone who's very interested in international affairs, are you worried about what this says, not just for Ukraine, but for our region as well when it comes to the US position on these matters?
Well, Kieran, you probably may recall for my sins, I was sent to the UN in 2023 and I got an opportunity to see how the UN operates up front and personal and close. And, the UN is almost if not failed institution. There is so much reform that needs to happen in the UN and the UN Security Council. It's very unfortunate that the US would not agree to wording in that vote, or the motion that at least acknowledged the the violence and the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. Peter Dutton is absolutely spot on with his comments about this. That you cannot escape facts. The facts are very clear. The war, Russia's illegal war and illegal invasion into Ukraine was one that was planned. You would recall there were months preceding the invasion where the Russian tanks were marshalled on the border. There is no doubt. It's sort of night follows day. Russia invaded Ukraine illegally and immorally, and countries like Australia have to stand with Ukraine and acknowledge that might is not right, because next time it could be us.
Well, indeed, important to support that embattled democracy. Andrew Wallace, thanks. Next week we might be in that campaign. I'll catch you then.
Please God.
Authorised by Andrew Wallace, LNP, Boccarina, Queensland.